How long does it actually take to hit $1 million investing in ETFs? Most people are way off. Most assume it takes luck, a high income, or some kind of perfect investing strategy. But what almost nobody talks about is this. It's not about what you invest in. It's about how long you stay in. Because if you take two people investing in the same ETFs, the one who sticks with it longer doesn't just win, they win by a lot. And that includes simple, proven funds like SPYM, SCHG, SCHD, and even something like SPMO. Different strategies, different styles, but over time, consistency beats all of them. And today I'm going to show you exactly how long it really takes to hit $1 million using these types of ETFs. Because once you see how this actually plays out, you'll realize becoming a millionaire isn't complicated, but it does require one thing that most people struggle with: time. And more importantly, it requires the discipline to stay invested long enough for compounding to finally do what it was designed to do. Hi, I'm Greg Hardy and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for being here. We cover all things personal finance, investing, and building a secure financial future. So if you're serious about taking control of your money and also learning something new every week, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps the channel and gets this information to more people who need it. Thank you. Let's be honest, $1 million sounds like a huge number, and for most people it feels completely out of reach. But the real issue isn't the number itself. It's the timeline people expect. Most try to compress a 20 to 30 year process in just a few years. They start thinking they need higher returns, better stock picks, or perfect timing just to catch up. That mindset creates pressure, and that pressure leads to poor decisions. But in reality, the biggest mistake isn't picking the wrong ETF. It's quitting too early. The market doesn't grow in a straight line. It moves slowly for a long time, and then it accelerates in a way that surprises people. If you don't stay invested long enough to experience that shift, you miss the entire point of compounding. The early years feel small, but they're setting up everything that comes later. This is what actually works in the real world, not theory. Let's keep this very simple. We're going to assume you invest every single month, no matter what the market is doing, and you're building around a few core ETFs like SPYM as your foundation, SCHG for growth, and SCHD for income. This isn't about finding something exotic or complicated. It's about creating a setup that you can stick with through good markets, bad markets, and everything in between. You might also choose to add something like QQQM if you want a little more exposure to large tech companies, or VTI if you prefer owning the entire US stock market in one fund. And you could even mix in something like SPMO if you want a momentum tilt. But here's the truth most people miss. These are just tools. None of them are going to magically fast track you to $1 million on their own. The real difference comes down to consistency. Instead of chasing the perfect ETF or constantly adjusting your portfolio, the focus needs to be on what actually moves the needle over time. Investing every month, increasing contributions when you can, staying invested during downturns, and allowing average returns to compound. Now guys, it's not flashy and it's not exciting in the short term, but over long periods of time, this is exactly how wealth is built. Now here's where this gets interesting, because the timeline is probably longer and shorter than you think. We're going to use a simple assumption the entire way through the video: an 8% average annual return and consistent monthly investing. Now that's important because 8% is actually a bit conservative compared to the long-term historical returns of funds like SPYM, SCHG, and SCHD. We're intentionally keeping this on the lower end to stay realistic and to build in a margin of safety. Let's start with $500 a month. If you invest $500 every single month and earn around that 8% annually, you're looking at roughly 34 to 35 years to reach $1 million. That's the reality. It's not fast and it's not exciting in the beginning. This is where most people quit because it feels like it's not working. But it is very doable, and for a lot of people, this is where the journey starts. Just getting consistent with an amount they can afford. Now think about what's happening during that time. Over those 30 years, you're contributing a total of about $204,000. The rest of that $1 million is coming from growth. That's a key shift in mindset. You're not saving your way to $1 million, you're investing your way there. That's the shift that most people never make. The market is doing the majority of the heavy lifting, but only if you give it enough time. Now let's take that same approach and simply double the contribution to $1,000 a month. Same ETFs, same return, same discipline. Now you're looking at around 24 to 26 years to hit $1 million. Just by increasing your contribution, you've shaved off nearly a decade. And that's without changing anything else. And it's not just about the end number. It shows how powerful your savings rate really is. It's about the acceleration. When you contribute more early on, you're giving your money more time to compound. Now let's go one step further. At $2,000 a month, the timeline compresses even more. You're now looking at around 18 to 20 years to reach $1 million. At this point, this isn't a distant retirement goal anymore. This is something that can realistically happen while you're still working, giving you options, whether that's stepping back, changing careers, or simply having more flexibility. But here's what's really important to understand. These timelines are based on an 8% return, which again is conservative compared to what many of these ETFs have historically delivered over long periods. Funds like SCHG, for example, have had periods of significantly higher returns due to their growth focus. Now, that doesn't mean that you should expect those returns every year, but it does mean there's potential upside beyond what we're modeling here. Now let's talk about the part that a lot of people miss. In the early years, it feels like nothing is happening. Year 1, year 3, even year 5. It can feel slow and almost discouraging. Your contributions are doing nearly all the work, and the growth feels small in comparison. This is the phase where people get impatient. But then something shifts. As your balance grows, your gains start to matter more. The market begins to contribute more to your portfolio than you do. And eventually you reach a point where your portfolio grows more in a single year than what you contributed that entire year. That's when everything changes. That's when compounding stops feeling theoretical and starts becoming very real. And that's why staying invested long enough is what ultimately determines the outcome. So if it's really this simple, why don't more people hit $1 million? It usually comes down to a few common mistakes that show up over and over again. The first is that they stop too early, right before things start to work. This is something that I actually broke down in another video called Most People Quit Investing at the Worst Possible Time, and it ties directly into this. The early years feel slow, and without big results, it's easy to think that it's not working. But that's exactly the phase where consistency matters the most, because that's what sets up growth later on. The second mistake is chasing performance. People jump between funds like SCHG, QQQM, and SCHD, trying to find whichever one is doing the best right now. The problem is, by the time something looks like the winner, a lot of the gains have already happened. Instead of building momentum, they reset themselves over and over again, never giving any one strategy enough time to actually play out. The third issue is underestimating time. Most people expect meaningful results in 3 to 5 years, but that's not how this works. The real results tend to show up in years 15, 20, even 25. That's where compounding becomes powerful. But if your expectations are too short, you'll always feel behind, even when you're actually on track. And this is where most people lose, not because they picked the wrong ETF or didn't have access to good investments, but because they didn't stay consistent long enough for the process to work. The strategy itself isn't the problem. It's sticking with it through the slow years that makes all the difference. This is where discipline matters more than knowledge, because most people already know what to do, they just don't stay with it long enough to see it through. What ends up happening is they interrupt compounding right before it starts to accelerate. They pull money out, change directions, or lose focus at the exact moment their portfolio needed more time, not less. And every time that happens, they reset the clock without realizing it. The investors who reach $1 million aren't necessarily smarter or more aggressive. They're the ones who stayed consistent while everything felt boring, slow, and uncertain. It's not a knowledge problem, it's a behavior problem. If I were keeping this as simple as possible, it could look something like this. About 50% in SPYM as your core, 30% in SCHG for growth, and 20% in SCHD for income and stability. And this is very close to how I personally think about building a long-term portfolio. That's it. No overthinking, no constant adjustments, and no need to chase whatever is performing best this year. Just a clean, straightforward structure that covers the major pieces of a long-term portfolio. With that set up, you're getting broad market exposure through SPYM, which keeps you anchored to the overall market. SCHG adds that growth component, giving you access to companies that can drive higher returns over time. And SCHD brings in stability and income, which can help smooth things out and make the portfolio easier to stick with, especially during more volatile periods. Each piece has a role, and together they create balance without adding complexity. And that's really the point. It's not about building the perfect portfolio. It's about building one that you can stick with for 20 or 30 years. Because the longer you stay consistent, the more powerful the results become. Most people don't fail because their strategy is wrong. They fail because it's too complicated to maintain. Simple doesn't mean basic. In investing, simple is often what actually works. Here's the part that really matters, and it's something most people don't fully appreciate until much later. Building wealth like this doesn't feel impressive while you're doing it. There's no big moment early on where everything clicks. It feels slow, repetitive, and at times even frustrating. But that's exactly why it works. Because most people won't stay consistent long enough to let it play out. And the truth is, you don't need to be perfect to get there. You don't need to pick the best ETF every year or time the market perfectly. What you need is a system that you can stick with when it feels like nothing is happening. Because over time, that consistency starts to separate you from everyone else who started but didn't finish. That's where the real advantage is built. So here's what I'd want you to think about. If you kept this simple and stayed consistent, where could you realistically be in 10, 15, or 20 years? Not based on hype or unrealistic returns, but based on steady investing and time. Drop that in the comments because sometimes just putting a number to it makes it feel real. And that's where things start to change. Because once you believe it's possible, you start acting like it is. Now, if you found this video eye-opening, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who you think needs to hear it. And if you want more practical, no-nonsense advice on building wealth and securing your financial future, then check out this video here. And also, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.